Yo, welcome to the show. This is the introduction show to Caution Real Radio. I'm one of your hosts, Merchandise or Eddie Stanley, whichever one you prefer. Um, yeah, I'm not doing a webcast thing or a web show because let's face it, dude, radio really you don't see the person's face. So I'm just here to actually talk about some of the stuff that the normal radio stations that whatever town you in, whatever city, whatever hood, whatever you have, don't talk about. Is my show gonna be controversial? Somewhat. It will be controversial to certain things, but my thing is I'm the person that will actually come out and say certain things. I mean, do it make good radio, so to speak? Yeah, you dang Skippy. Because if everybody in this world agreed on everything that people said, then guess what? The place would be kind of boring. Sorry, had to clear my throat. The premise of this show is it's news based, it's relationship based, it's whatever you want to call it. It's just real radio. I'm not gonna sugarcoat of saying how this should be this. Will I have a different view on everything? Yes, I will. But that's not for you to decide. That's not for, well, actually, it's not for me to decide because let's face it, I'm just running this because all the other shows I end up seeing, listening, and hearing about, they're somewhat PG. I can be PG at times, I can be R at times. It really on how you partake this show. This show is not for everybody. The show is dealing with real type feelings, is dealing with real situations, is dealing with, like I said, everything that other shows may not say. There will be no cussing in the show because when I sat back and thought about it, it was a wise woman that told me you can put your point, you can make people see your point without using the words that will define you for being ignorant. Because you don't talk to your boss as mother F this and spit that. So, yeah, it will be a lot of stuff that I will sugarcoat, but y'all would get the gist of what I'm saying. Like if I say, man, that spit's not real, you already know. Take away the P and add the S. Also, like some of the topics that I have will be fun. Some of the topics may actually rub you the wrong way. Well, I like that. It was also, to my knowledge, off a book I read called Controversy Creates Cash. Am I trying to make cash for this? Well, I did go to school for it, so it would benefit me in the long run. About me, like I said, you can call me Eddie Stanley, the merchandise, whatever. I'm a kid. Well, I ain't gonna say I'm a kid. I'm a guy from Detroit, Michigan that pretty much look at anything around the world to actually say, okay, well, how does this affect this? How would this does with that? The cause and effect of every decision. Like me, the Donald Sterling thing, being a black man, really wasn't a big issue to me because let's face it, racism still exists in the world. You can sit there at your computer and say, "Oh well, no, it don't." Yes, it do. Because if you play video games, you hear little Caucasian kids calling African American kids or black kids the N word. So my whole thing is just whatever. The reason why you're not seeing my face is, like I said, is radio. There's no need to. But if you would like to see it, it will be posted up later on. I'm not the only one that's in this. I have a gang of co-hosts that can drop in and do any show at any time. Some of them may see my views, some of them may not. I know a couple people really not going to see my view. Some of them are. Also, it will be a little segment where if I switch it up and call "Why You Mad" Stan, all that is just me ranting about something that done happen or whatever. This has nothing to do to reflect against any company, any whatever. It's just me expressing myself to the fact that, let's face it, I'm starting from the bottom. Period. That's why you don't see any fancy gimmicks and graphics and ooh ooh ooh. Honestly, just me talking until I start getting everything, just like with introduction music. Don't have that yet, but I'm working on it. This is a serious thing for me, and I'm going to take this very serious. Yes, I created the YouTube page for it. I'm also going to create a Twitter and a Facebook page. Just time won't allow me to actually be able to, how do you say, put the full amount of effort at this time, but the effort will be there. Um, I can, ooh, and I hate using that word. This is one of them things of just when you have nothing to say, just um. That's also one of my biggest pet peeves, and I do it like numerously, even with the word like. I know I can say other things, but for some reason, like gravitates to me. Oh, like this, like that, like this. This introduction is only what 7 minutes in, but let me get right to it. Some of the comments, if you really want the first show to actually pop or whatever, please hit the subscribe button. And I hate sounding like the normal YouTuber, but guess what? You got to. It's social media, and you have to be able to communicate with your audience. Some of the topics may include, are 80s babies crazy or is everybody else? And see, I did again. Why do women act like men can't have a bad day? Also, can a relationship between a guy and girl just stay a friendship? Like I hit on, racism still exists. Also, another topic. Do the United States need to have a red light district? Sorry, that was my phone. I'm not gonna edit that out because, like I said, that's an introduction show, and I really just want to put myself out there now. But in my opinion, I feel we do need a red light district so that way we can get us out the hole with China. But that's for another time. Also, do like remember when cartoons and video games didn't have parental guidelines? Yeah, I remember that. Why? Because that was when parents actually acted like parents and sat down with their kids and said something to them of saying, this ain't real, this is real. That's why horror movies really didn't scare me as a child, because my mother was the one that told me, hey, they're actually chilling. They're actually doing something else off camera. This is a movie. Um, Also, which relationship lasts longer? Same race relationships or interracial? I might end up hitting my head on that one, but hey, it's whatever. Also, why is there a cure for depression and erectile dysfunction and all that stuff, but what about AIDS and cancer? You really don't really hear a lot of new breaking ground with, oh, well, we found the cure where it doesn't come back. Period. Also, one other topic is, can you still be successful coming from a broken home? Probably. Or here's one that might really get people to talking. Could mental health care help prevent different situations in America, such as the Sunnybrook, such as the Virginia Tech shooting, Columbine, the dude who shot up the movie theater in Colorado? I mean, let's face it, there are somewhat crazy people in the world. I think mental health care would have been very beneficial instead of just going, hey, well, we can take money from here and put it towards this. Also, this is one of my biggest things as well is as me, sorry, as men, why do we get mad when our girls cry? I mean, I know I do. I guess because men are natural fix-its, but that's for another day. Like I said, this is the introduction show. This is what it's based about. This is what it's going to be. If you have any suggestions, any comments, anything that you probably don't want to say because of certain situations, but you want me to come out and say it, then fine. I'll come out and say it. I can sit here and say I have the balls to say what most people don't want to, but until you put a face on what you're saying, I'm just a regular voice. But it will be pictures, it will be access, it will be a lot of that stuff. My thing is, I'm putting the effort into this. You can either like what I say, not like what I say. You can not even hit the subscribe button. You don't even have to follow me when I get a Twitter. My thing is, I'm just hoping to actually shine light on certain situations that we deal with in everyday life that the news don't have the time to air, or the radio stations say, okay, well, we got time, but it's pretty much like a block, like an hour block of it, or, calling in. Yeah, I am going to need feedback. I am going to need people saying, hey, well, I think you suck. Well, that's your opinion, and you're entitled to your opinion, just like I'm entitled to mine. And that's basically what this show is about. Being entitled to your opinion, to say what you want when you want to say it without having the repercussions. Because yes, I know there's a lot of people in this world that really want to have a voice to speak out with, but really don't know how to. I am that person. I'm sorry that, like I said, I don't have the fancy graphics and all that stuff, and I'm not showing my face to say, hey, look at me. It's not about that. It's truly about what the show, what I envision that it be about. On that note, I'm gonna end with, I can sit here and say I'll end with something clever, but let's face it, I don't really feel like being clever right now, so I'll just end with this. If you think that you can't do something and you think that it's hard to do it, try it. Do it anyway. I'm not saying go out there and get killed, get shot, become a drug dealer, become a bank robber. What I'm trying to enlist in is saying everybody wants to speak out, but nobody really has a voice to speak out with. But if you can find that one voice that will actually speak for you, because we do live in a social media world where everybody is tough behind the screen instead of facing stuff head on, I can somewhat face that head on. Even because I don't care if you're white, black, Asian, Mexican, Puerto Rican, Italian, African. Life is short not to actually do what you want to do in this world. You really need to do it. There's no talk. Talk is talk. Just like what I'm doing is just talking. But sometimes you talk to actually do stuff like this, or you talk just to talk. That's it for today, boys and girls. This is the merchandise casting out or signing out for Caution Real Radio. The first show will be whatever I feel like it, or if y'all write a comment or have a good suggestion or what to talk about, trust me, me and my crewmates, we will be able to talk about it. And don't get mad if certain people say certain things, because let's face it, we all are different people. It takes the real people to actually accept what they do. Merchandise out.